Bum 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 bum. Bum, 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 ba-dun, dun. Now that Nintendo has copyright stricken us, welcome back to Donkey Kong Country Part 3.
This game is such a vibe. I don't care about getting copyright stricken. It's all about the vibes, man.
It is all about the vibe. So are we categorizing this as a Sonic Unleashed type of game?
Yeah.
Works for me. It's a vibe, bro.
I'd be okay with that. From everything I've seen so far, this gives me that kind of energy.
Yeah. It's not like there's not a ton of like world building or anything. And that's the thing that I'm realizing.
Like you just sit in the levels and you can just chill. Like I could sit here forever. It's true. You know, I could even do that in Sonic CD if Sonic wouldn't jump off screen.
It's true. I mean, you just have to tap him to the left or right a little bit every now and again.
It's not the same, man. It's not the same.
But that's something I'm noticing with these Nintendo 2D platformers is that they're really fun. They might not be the best for commentating, if I'm being honest. Because at the end of the day, it is just a gauntlet of levels. And the like most variety you get is a new gimmick every so often, you know?
I mean, okay, you say it's not that great for commentating, but it's kind of like like Knights to me, where we can just sit. I don't mind just sitting back and not really paying all that much attention.
That's fair.
You know,
I'm just of a one-track mind, and I find it really hard to do that. Getting a little speedrunning action. I was stuck on this level for quite a bit, so I got pretty good at it.
My goodness.
Even skipping the DK barrel in case I want to come back for it. Yeah. I don't know what happened on this stage. Yeah, I just died like 30 times.
Yeah. It's kind of like the same thing with like Dark Souls as well. No. I don't think we minded too much when we fell into long tangents in that game.
Yeah, but at least in that game, you get the like big moments to look forward to, being the bosses. You know, like that had stuff. This does not have stuff to really look forward to. It's just, we have like 25 more levels to go.
True, but it's also short.
It wouldn't be a problem if sorry, my dog is barking. It wouldn't be a problem if the bosses were more interesting, or we got like more gauntlet type challenges. I don't know, but the motto for Nintendo. I mean, these games obviously weren't designed to be commentated over in a YouTube video, you know. But you know, they were just designed for fun platforming, and that's what they are. And yeah,
DK was like inside of the thing.
Oh yeah, we talked about how the fucking trailing works. It's horrible. And also
this is not
something with the sprites as well. Diddy Kong looks fucking massive. He looks like too big compared to DK. Because I guess they couldn't make their hitboxes too different. So yeah, he looks a little too big, but that's fine. This is the only Donkey Kong Country game where you play as Donkey Kong. How does that make you feel?
Not really much, because they established early on there's other Kongs. So I think that just adds a nice layer of charm to it.
True, but it's Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
And
there's only a single Dark Souls game where I collect the Dark Soul.
I'm just bringing up the topic of conversation because it is something people do complain about. And, I think it's kind of valid. Like, it'd be kind of strange if in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, you don't play as Sonic the Hedgehog, you know? But
I guess, but I wish more games could experiment with that with other casts.
And the Donkey Kong, like the Country series here, very much establishes that it is not just about Donkey Kong, so it makes sense in this. It's about the ensemble. It's about Donkey Kong. It's about Cranky Kong. It's about Diddy Kong. You know, it's about all these different characters.
Yeah, it's about DK, Donkey Kong.
And that is something that very validly, this is probably going to be like the only bit of Bonanza discussion we have. Very validly, hardcore Donkey Kong fans are a bit worried about Donkey Kong Bonanza because they haven't shown too much in the way of the other Kongs. That was dickish, but they haven't shown too much in the way of the other Kongs. Like, we haven't seen Diddy in the game. We haven't seen, well, we've seen Cranky Kong, and he's just an NPC. But, you know, it is definitely something people are worried about. But I don't know. I think it's a little too early to say on that.
It doesn't look like it's trying to be anything like this, though. So I get, like, I would completely understand anyone being frustrated about it, especially if they have expectations of the series that Nintendo has, you know, rightfully put on themselves.
Mm-hmm. To me, Bonanza feels like it's Nintendo sort of quote unquote taking back Donkey Kong. I mean, he was never not owned by Nintendo, but since Donkey Kong Country, they've had outside studios making the Donkey Kong Country or the Donkey Kong games. Mm-hmm. It was Rare, and then it moved to a bunch of weird people. The only in-house Nintendo game, Donkey Kong, that stars Donkey Kong, between this and Bonanza was Jungle Beat, which is a bongo gimmick game. You know?
Yeah, but didn't you say it was really fun?
Oh, it is really fun. It's an excellent little fucking game. It gives me the same vibes as a lot of like the Wii era stuff. Where if you put yourself into the mindset of, yeah, you're using bongos, it can be just a lot of fun. But yeah, so it's like kind of valid. People are concerned about that kind of stuff. I'm not too worried about it because from what I've seen with Bonanza, they are showing quite a lot of respect for the Country series / Rare era of this franchise. And according to like reporters who have reported on the game, most of the people working on it were kids when Donkey Kong Country first came out, and they actually are big fans of Donkey Kong Country. So I wouldn't be surprised.
That doesn't always bode well, but it is nice to see.
It doesn't always bode well, but I would not be surprised to see a lot more. And to be fair, in Bonanza's case, we have already seen more references to this era of Donkey Kong than what we've seen since this era of Donkey Kong ended. So,
yeah,
you know.
By the way, I found out Rare made Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Why does everyone say they're dead?
Because they don't make Banjo-Kazooie and stuff anymore.
I guess.
You say everyone, but it's quite literally just the people that had a Nintendo 64 growing up. It's not everyone.
Yeah, no one's talking about Rare.
Nobody's talking about Rare. The only people talking about Rare are people that play Sea of Thieves, and even then they're not even talking about Rare. They're just talking about Sea of Thieves in that case.
Yeah.
Or people that had Banjo-Kazooie as a kid and missed Banjo, which is fair. I would be pissed off if Sonic the Hedgehog didn't have any more games after
I did download
Sonic
that
Heroes.
on my 360, or Xbox One, so like I'm ready to play it.
Yeah, you expressed interest in it last time, and it's just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like very standard 3D collectathon fare.
Yeah, but
IMO.
like if I find something to enjoy and maybe another 3D platformer I can actually willingly play for this, you know, that'd be great. That isn't Sonic or maybe Metroid Other M, if you consider that a 3D platform.
Knowing you, considering I dislike Banjo, you're probably gonna love it.
God, I hope so.
And then you're gonna make me sit through a fucking commentary on it.
Hey. If that's the end goal, It is what it is.
Weirdly enough, I am interested in Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
I mean, I don't see why
that.
that's so. I don't see what's so weird about that though. It's a completely different game.
I say weird. It's weird because to Banjo fans, that is like the fucking Antichrist. But
we're at a point now where we can take stuff like that for what it is.
Yeah.
Especially,
I
mean, it doesn't help that there hasn't been Banjo since, so it's not like Metroid Other M, where we've seen the light at the other end, but Banjo's already dead, so who cares?
That's true. Fuck.
Oh no.
Yeah, levels get pretty tough sometimes, and that's why I genuinely I think I prefer this over like Super Mario World and stuff.
Mario World's always tough. What are you talking about?
Mario World is not a tough game.
Well, do you use every Switch Palace?
No, but I don't find every bonus in this game, so.
Bonuses don't make the game easier, though. Switch Palaces actively make the game easier and are optional.
Bonus and secret are interchangeable words in this era of gaming.
I said optional. Or optional easy mode.
Yeah, the optional easy mode in Mario World is just the default way to play. You have to go out of your way to do harder stuff. And to be fair, that is a Mario series staple, especially nowadays. Because like in 3D Mario, you only get the like really hard platforming.
So I don't think it's safe
like at the end of the game.
that Mario is harder than this. Just like saying Metroid Fusion is harder than Zero Mission when if you play Zero Mission on its highest difficulty, which is probably the most intended way to play it,
you mixed
it's
up what I said.
significantly harder than Fusion.
You mixed up what I said.
You said you like this better because it's harder all around versus Mario World,
yeah,
which
but
is a
you just said you mixed that up. You just mixed that up.
How?
You said I don't think it's fair to say Mario World is harder. I'm just being an asshole by pointing it out.
DK is harder. Oh, my bad.
But, like, Mario World has tough levels, but most of them are not. That's what I'm saying. Most of DKC is pretty tough. I don't think it maybe, I don't think any of it reaches, like, the heights.
I mean, I'd say that
difficulty
almost in a way
Mario
makes
World.
it worse design. Because the developers didn't implement a way to make it easier and more accessible.
It's plenty accessible. You just gotta get good. Dude, kids, this was like a kid's game in the 90s. It's fine. Kids these days don't know how to play hard video games. Rah, rah, rah. Oh. But yes, I don't understand your argument. I'm talking about my personal preference. I prefer this more because it is overall harder, or there's overall more hard levels. I didn't say it was objectively better than Mario World.
Yeah, but we gotta argue about something here.
No, we don't. we can fucking have a nice cordial conversation once in a while, don't you think?
We did that last part.
I don't remember last part. Last part we were just going insane about the Crazy Jelly universe.
Yeah, that was a casual conversation.
No. Why do we don't have a quota for arguments? You ass. I will just say you're bad. We could have also argued about the prospect of doing a Banjo commentary, but no, you chose my personal preferences to argue about. I don't know why I'm stuck on this. It's just funny. Fuck that shark. On guard never blinks. He's always on it. On guard. I'm I should die, I think. It was a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Star Wars rant? Question mark. I feel like I've been talking about Star Wars way too often lately, and I don't like it.
How have you been talking about Star Wars?
Huh?
What, like, how have you been talking about Star Wars? What?
Just in. What do you mean? How have I been? I've been talking about it.
Yeah, you can be talking about it in a negative
Just with
way.
you. I mean, in a negative way, yes. Because I'm not a big Star Wars fan.
Nah, just watch Star Wars.
Star Wars is lame.
Yeah.
Guys, you know what? Emperor Palpatine actually kind of sounds like a pretty cool guy. He did what he had to do, okay?
Me and my dad have been having a bunch of debates on this. Hashtag Palpatine did nothing wrong.
Oh my gosh. I was parroting people like that. What the fuck?
We were too, and then we thought about it.
Oh god. Not you too. Dun.
Listen. All right.
I will not.
See, the Jedi, they're very selfish. They keep all the power to themselves. They don't want to help people. They're just very begrudging about everything. Okay?
Uh-huh.
But like the Sith, if they weren't actually evil, you'd probably want an actual Sith running everything.
If they weren't evil?
Yeah.
Oh, unfortunately, they're evil.
Listen. That's apples to oranges, okay?
What do you mean apples to oranges? They're fucking evil incarnate.
Listen. All right, I'm gonna stop saying stuff even for jokes now. Before I say something fucked up.
Listen. Hitler actually... Listen, if Hitler was actually like a good guy, it probably would have turned out okay, right?
I want to make more jokes about this, but I don't want to go too far with it.
We should definitely cut it off there. That's why I crossed the line.
We should probably note here, we have zero support for Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. The only good Nazi is a dead Nazi.
Amen, brother. A fucking men.
All right.
Anyway, so Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo.
What's this about Star Wars?
What? What's that? I've never heard of it. Look at my live count. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh. Oh, fucking Diddy Kong. I get very antsy when I don't have two Kongs in the water levels, because those fish can just come off the fucking side of the screen and blindside you. Cart level! Man, it's been a minute since we did one of these. And this one works differently. Look at that.
Finally. Also,
yeah,
Sonic
this
Lost
one.
World.
Yeah, this one you don't jump with the cart, you jump out of the cart, which is minorly different. It doesn't really feel that different to play, to be honest. You can just do certain platforming actions out of a jump now.
Yeah.
Like grabbing ropes or turning left. But this one's like significantly easier than the other cart level we did. It took me forever to realize.
You should have stayed as you should be Diddy for this whole level.
Probably. It doesn't really matter. to be honest. One thing to note about the music of these stages, it's the fucking Jungle Hijinks theme, but really, really slowed down and intensified.
Yeah.
And I never noticed this until I was editing the footage for this and was watching it at like 2 times speed. It makes the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da very obvious. Yeah, I tried to go for that secret. Didn't work out.
I see that. But do you get it?
Probably. Or maybe I just gave up on it. I get this one now. Yay!
Huzzah.
Fuck.
Oh. Yeah, Diddy. You should be feeling that way. I wonder what Donkey Kong
After
does.
what he did. Donkey Kong just looks at you very disappointedly. He like puts his hand over his eye.
If you have both on screen, do they both do their animations or just one?
No, just whoever you're playing as.
Oh.
But Donkey Kong will just be very disappointed in you. He'll like face palm and then like look down at the ground and shake his head.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, it's weird because like Donkey Kong has this like reputation for being the like the kind of like hothead brawler nowadays. When he's not, he's like the most chill dude in the world. Not the most chill dude. That goes to Funky Kong, of course. But Donkey Kong's a very chill guy. He just wants to relax and eat bananas. Fuck this level.
Yeah, I remember this one.
I am inching along bit by bit because I don't know when the enemies are going to start spawning. I bet mastering this level is particularly satisfying.
It's giving me memories of Shovel Knight.
Does Shovel Knight have a level like this? Oh yeah, it does.
Spectre Knight's level.
Yeah, but in that one, you
have more visibility, but still,
yeah,
like, something similar, you know.
Yeah, I do like that level. God, I miss Shovel Knight. I want to try out that Shovel Knight Dig game, but I'm pretty sure that's just a roguelike.
You can record the main game, and maybe I'll take Plague of Shadows if I can actually beat it.
If you want the main game, you can have it.
Well, you're not going to play Plague of Shadows, though.
Why not? Who said?
I'm pretty sure we've had this conversation before.
I'm pretty sure I just said that I didn't beat it. Never said that I don't want to go back to it at some point. I just got sick of Shovel Knight at the time. Because like when I got the game, I got it when Plague of Shadows came out. So I played the original Shovel Knight and then immediately tried to play Plague of Shadows, and that didn't go well because I was very burnt out. Very, very, very burnt out on Shovel Knight at that point. Shovel Knight is one of those games where it's not one that I go back to very often, but it is excellent when I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that honestly, Shovel Knight kind of set the gold standard for me for indie platformers, because that game's just full of dumb little details and great dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it feels like it could have come out straight out of the...
you say indie platformers, but it's made by professionals.
I mean, yeah, but independently.
Same thing with like Stellar Blade and Shift Up, like...
Indie doesn't mean they're not professional. Indie means they're independent.
Yeah, but I feel like...
it has a connotation, but
yeah, it does have a connotation.
It's not what that means.
No, but I hold developers like the people who made Shovel Knight and people who made Stellar Blade to different standards from people who make trying to think of an immediate example. People who made Hollow Knight, I guess. I don't believe any of them were in the industry or AM2R.
they weren't in the industry, but they, I'm sure, all went to school for game design. So they have professional level skill.
You don't even
Really,
necessarily have to do that. You can just make a shit ton of games, and eventually, if you actually improve, you'll make something.
That is true. And I think the real comparison is comparing indie games to big AAA stuff, because a lot of indie games manage to pack in a lot of fucking content for what it is, for like $15 to $20 versus like a $70 modern AAA game, which has technically more content, but it's a lot of bloat. A lot of stuff that's just meant to waste time. So, I don't know. Indie games for life, baby. And Donkey Kong.